Right. Right, we are live. Matt and Cabbie and Davey show. Davey, how have you been?
Oh, champion, son, champion.
Good. Good to see you anyway.
Aye.
I've been off work all week.
There's a lot of people got the cold and that, like.
Oh, yeah, man. I could do without it because I need to work. This it's my busiest time of the year.
This is your way, aye, of course it is.
But when you're feeling you've not got an ounce of energy in your body,
Does Carlisle get busy this time of year, like?
it does, mate. Aye, it does. But I can't drive and concentrate and have a natter with all the passengers every single second of the day when I'm feeling like I couldn't have been bothered to get me toe out of my bed.
Aye.
So you've got to listen to your body sometimes, Davey, and you've got to put yourself right.
Yeah.
Is Gary Bennett on tonight? No, SJ, welcome on the chat anyway. We'll never get Gary Bennett on here.
You didn't want him on after the night. He pissed me off again, man. I haven't got a clue.
Oh, what was said much tonight? Like I tuned in for 15, 20 minutes in the second bit.
Just the way he's gone on about Luke 19, saying he shouldn't be in the team and that. I didn't agree with it. Like, I'll go on about it on the show and we'll get cracking.
Why?
But my opinion, and I kind of change it, is Sunderland are a better team with Luke 19 in it. And people can go on as much as they want. Sunderland are a better team with Luke 19 in it.
We missed him massively against Bristol City.
I knew we would. I knew. I mean, MACKEM and Ballard are two good centre-halves. They are. But I don't think they're as good a pair as Luke 19 with either one of the other two.
It's a big miss. We didn't seem to have them. I don't know. It's not just the fact like the skill he's got and what he can do. I just think the all-round team spirit and morale,
the leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, Cabbie, I don't know if you've ever watched, but you know when they do the huddle at the beginning of the game?
Mm-hmm. Aye.
It's Luke 19 all the time, and I've watched it a few times. So that tells you something, doesn't it?
I would have 19 captain and Dan Neil any day of the week.
Huh? No, I can understand why they changed it, like.
I don't know why Gary Bennett. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I don't know why.
He says Dan Ballard and MACKEM are the best two centre halves. There should be centre halves in our list. It's not always about that, man. It's about a partnership.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And Luke 19's positivity rubs off on that team.
Aye, exactly.
When he's on that pitch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the listeners think of it. I would like to hear their opinions, but I've been following football for a long time, 50 years, and it's not always the best player that makes the best partnership. That applies in all positions on the pitch.
It's about having that chemistry, that rapport, that...
And you must admit, Cabbie, we were defending better at the beginning of the season when it was Luke 19 and MACKEM.
Massively better, 100%. Andrew Moore, hello, he says, I agree, Davey. If he's injured or sick, though, we need to rest him.
If he's not fit, we need, but he's disputing that.
No, absolutely not. But I think what you were saying, the fact that Gary Bennett sometimes thinks he's a better side when Luke 19's not in it.
No, in my opinion, like.
Hello, gents. Hello, Andrew Moore. Hello, SJ. Says, who plays on the left now then? No Mundle, no Watson. I'd play Isidore there and put Mayenda up front.
Not though. I know we'll be up on the left to be Mayenda.
We've got.
I like Isidore up top rather than on the wing, like.
Do you know?
But I'm not saying Mayenda's the perfect answer, but I just think he's the best at the minute.
I'd like to see Isidore. He's like gone on goal strike at the minute, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gone through a bit of a sticky patch. I mean, he hasn't had much service. Like he has had a couple of efforts where he's been unlucky.
Andrew Moore's just said you can clearly see what having 09 around the team does to the younger ones. Andrew Lewis says Bennett's definitely wrong on that. Mackham Pastor Alex VPA Uganda says hello.
Oh, Pastor.
Good old Pastor. He's your mate, you know. Good old Pastor. Colin Major, evening lads, from the new...
It's his birthday today, Cabbie.
I know, I wished him happy birthday on Facebook. Happy birthday, Colin, mate.
Happy birthday, Colin.
Happy birthday, mate. Good to see you on. Hope you're having a good day, pal. Meander keeps drifting inside, though. He'll be completely wasted out wide. Pastor Alex says, I agree, Davey. So there we go. But that Bristol City game, though, I mean, it's... were you happy with that point?
No. Right, in the long run, happy with the point, but I think that's one of the worst we've played this season, to tell you the truth. We seemed lifeless and clueless.
I mean, why? I mean, does
the crowd was the same, lifeless and clueless.
I tried to get on Total Sport the last couple of days, but obviously they like to swap things round a bit. I've not been on, and I just wanted to say, and nobody phoned in and said this. It's just like, do you not think the lack of fans in the Stadium of Light? We keep going on about how much of a big supporter club we are, but the lack of the amount of empty seats and lack of atmosphere at the Stadium of Light, do you not think that rubs off on the players on a Tuesday night?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And you running out onto that, because I mean, I don't know what it was like when you were there, Dave, against Bristol City. It was dead, was it?
It was as if the game hadn't started yet. You know, and the crowd just sitting, chatting on, and just waiting for the game to start. It was like that for 90 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's got to play an effect, and that's why I was dying to get on the radio and mention that, because the fact, like, you see,
it's just come from nowhere, hasn't it? Because up until about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, we were getting the 40,000s there. It was loud, it was boisterous, it was... Whether it's something to do with the time of year, I didn't know.
See, the time of year, you could say the weather. Is it because the Sunderland fans are sensing that the fact, like, Sunderland just started to drop off again? I'm not turning up to watch that crap, or...
No, money has a lot to do with it. It's not cheap to get into the match now, is it?
It's not. But the state for whatever the crowd that was in there, though, you think there would have been some sort of noise or some atmosphere, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because when we equalised the death, for the amount of people that were sitting in there was some roar when Rabbit scored that goal. There was some noise.
Right. But they just seem to be... But to get anything out of them, they've got to be entertained every minute, haven't they?
Yes.
They want to be 2 or 3 up after 20 minutes every game. Well, life's not like that.
So what do you think's causing this? I mean, do you think Regis Lebree's having to take some flack with this? It's like, is his tactics, is his lineups, or are we just unlucky with all the injuries we've got? What do you think it is?
I mean, everything's been rosy. I mean, I've not made complaints with the manager, but the one complaint I would have with him in the last few weeks is he's very reluctant to change his outlook on matters. He sticks rigidly to the way he wants to play, regardless of what's happening in front of him.
Aye. It's like with a one-trick pony. It was like Bristol City was like, well, when we're going to change it? When we're going to just swap things around? And we didn't.
Well, look at Bristol. We had them on the back foot in the first half. It looked like Sunderland was going to score at any time. But come the second half, Bristol City changed it round. They put another forward on and they started pressing us up front. And Ballard and Mepham are not as good when you're pressing them like that.
No, they're not.
And it changed the game. And they looked like they were going to score, didn't they? Rather than Sunderland score in the second half.
They had more control. And I analysed that second half, Davey, right? And they didn't give Sunderland any time on that ball. When we had it, they were crowding around us. They had players around us. They, for some reason, in that second half, they wanted the ball more than what Sunderland did.
Yeah. And Regis never seemed to change anything, did he?
No.
Nothing changed. I'm not just talking about personnel, as in bringing subs on and tapping people off. Even the players that's on the pitch should be able to change their formation to counteract what's happening in front of them.
It was just sort of, I don't know. I cannot be asked on a Tuesday night to play sort of a feeling when I watched the game. It was like we've gone from playing the fast attacking football, intense pressing for 90 minutes to the Simon Grayson days or the Phil Parkinson days at second half, and it's like,
I know confidence is a massive thing in football, so obviously them players can't be as confident as what they were 10 weeks ago when we were winning every game. But you've still got to get stuck in and try and turn it round. And I just cannot say, we just didn't look dangerous now.
I'm just trying to work out why, though. I mean, would you say it's the injuries obviously aren't help? I mean,
definitely not.
Look, I mean, do you think it was a game changer, Watson being injured?
I didn't know.
Because I don't think Watson was doing. I'm not saying. I don't think he made that much of an impact before he was injured. And a lot of Sunderland fans are saying,
he was only on 20 minutes. The game's just getting warmed up then. But I still think even with Watson, I don't know whether we would have pushed on in that game. We just seemed lifeless throughout the team. There was no urgency, no life, no tenacity at all, was that?
There wasn't at all. It's just a fact. I want to know why. I mean, it's just why we seem to keep going on this dip in the festive period. Like I say, look at the times when we put 4 past Sheffield Wednesday, 3 past Portsmouth, and this and that and the other. Right. We were scoring for fun. Is it the fact that because of the injuries we've got, we're burning out our youngsters? Is that what it is? We haven't got.
Chris Rigg hasn't looked as sharp, has he?
Chris Rigg's done now for the last few games.
Right, I'm saying he's done now. He's done a lot of damage because he always seems to be the one who on the end of the chance, doesn't he?
I'll probably rephrase that then. We'll say he's done now. He's not. I'll say he's not been as effective.
No,
what he has been.
I'm saying, Cabby, the chance always seems to fall to him in the box, doesn't it?
It does. And that's what was frustrating against Bristol City as well. It was like the amount of times the ball was bobbing around in the Bristol City box, and we just couldn't get anybody on the end of it. Or when we did try a shot, it was they had bodies. They were defending immensely. They had bodies behind the ball every time we got a shot in. And it was an awful goal for Sunderland to concede because it was marking the goal scorer.
How many chances did they have to clear it?
Right, but there was nobody marking him. He stood there, no. Davey, in 18-yard box, whatever. There wasn't a player around him, and there was no pressure or him to rush. He just had to tap the ball in, and it was like, well. Why aren't they talking to each other? Why aren't they saying, there's a man free here, we'll close him down? Because Bristol City did it.
We had plenty back. They were just all next to each other.
Aye. But you could see it happening. The way it was gone, you could see it was happening.
I could see them scoring. But I couldn't see Sunderland scoring.
So what do you reckon's causing it then, Davey? Are you going to go for injuries? Are you going to go for...
I would like to think... you cannot say tiredness either because all teams are the same. We've all played the same number of games. It shouldn't be tired. You cannot have it both ways, can you, Cabby? You've got young lads who should have young legs and should be fitter. So you cannot complain that the young lads are tired, but you're not prepared to buy more experienced older heads. You cannot have it both ways.
Me and you could be tired if we played. We can have an excuse and say we're knackered. But
young ones not though.
When you're young whippersnappers, man, I mean, you went on it. You got Duracell batteries, haven't you? You just gone on and on and on.
Right.
I've even read some of the fans saying believe it or not, I've seen it as well as Regis Labrie starting to lose the dressing room a bit, or the players starting to lose a bit of belief in the manager, just by the way we're starting to play. Because there's been a few games where we have, especially second half, we've been absolutely awful. Do you know what I mean? Like the Coventry second half, for example, Preston North End, that was a dire. There just seems to be getting more of these shocking performances coming in, Davey. I mean, and then your Bristol City games.
Well, you just never know what's happening behind closed doors, do you?
Or are we getting in the wrong mentality, thinking, it'll be an easy win against Bristol City, because there's no easy win. Look at Burnley against Derby County.
Yeah, that's no easy game. Tomorrow's a very difficult game. Very difficult.
Oh, God's sake, absolutely.
To me, Swansea's the last team in the world we want to be playing at the minute when we're not playing as well, because they just absolutely never stop coming at you.
They don't, and that's why we never beat them. But
I mean, I've looked at South Swansea stats. I mean, I don't know, what are they, ninth or something? Ninth off top, something like that. And every game this season, every game bar one, they've had more possession in the game out them all.
There's only one game to play against, Davey.
They played Norwich and they only had 48%, and Norwich had 52%. But they played Leeds a couple of weeks ago, and Swansea had 70% and Leeds had 30%. So you can guarantee they'll be having the ball a lot tomorrow.
But yet again, would you be happy with another point?
Well, yeah, it'd be a good point, but the way things is going, like these points is dragging us back, aren't they?
I know there's loads of Sunderland fans out there saying, like, aye, but we're still unbeaten at home. I says, well, yeah, I can totally understand where you're coming from, but at some point, that point has to be turned into 3, because you'll start losing. Forget the top 2, Davey. Sheffield United and Leeds, I think, good night Vienna, they've gone. I think they're away. I mean, I might be being a bit premature saying that, but
it's a bit early to say that, like, because we've got Sheffield United to play in a couple of weeks, haven't we?
Aye.
That'll be a big game. That's a big game because it's like a 6-pointer, isn't it?
Aye. I just cannot see any of the top 2 teams rather than, because they just continuously keep getting win after win after win on the majority side of it. The scraping ones.
Yeah. The difference for them, to me, seems to be they can play bad and still pick up 3 points. We cannot play bad and pick up 3 points.
We can play really, really good. Yeah. We can play really, really good, Davey, and lose.
Aye. But if Leeds play good, they win. And if Leeds play bad, sometimes they can still win.
Yeah.
And Sheffield's the same.
Just turning my heating down here.
That's one, isn't it?
I'm just going to catch up on some of the messages, Davey, because
I like to hear the messages.
There's quite a few coming in here. Colin says, thanks lads, feeling 62, he says, and Andrew Moore says, how long till Watson and or Mundle is available again? Watson's going to be up to 8 weeks. Mundle's not that far off, is he?
No, round about Boxing Day.
And it's the same way Sabdul, is it Hamed and the other guy?
Oh, that fucking was it Salu or Sadu or something? It's the middle of January for him again.
And there's a guy, who was it they've mentioned that they could be starting to train as soon as a week's time.
Centre forward.
Aye. What's his name again?
Alma Habari or something. Mohammed Al-Durin or something.
Mohammed Ahmed Salah or something.
Oh, you know. He's only a young.
But it's something we've not seen. Do you know what I mean? And
no said about your mate Baveda.
They reckon that he's on the way back as well. Because I read the headlines of the fact, like, it's not all doom and gloom, it says, about Watson being off. Pervader's going to be available soon. That's like, really? Does that fill you with much hope and promise? It doesn't with me, like.
No.
He'll run on the pitch after coming on as a sub, and he'll start holding the back of his knee or something. He'll be straight back off again. D Hall, hello mate, says Rusin has experience on the wing, as does Alesic. I tell you what, is it true it was O'Shea that laid off the goal for Patrick Roberts?
Oh, well, aye.
I thought he played really well, O'Shea, when he came on, you know.
But that's him all over, isn't it? Been down this road many a time with him. He's good at coming off the bench, impact sub, but as soon as he gets 90 minutes, he gets took off because he's crap.
You cannot bloody understand it, man.
The manager doesn't trust him. It's obvious that he wants rid of him. He doesn't trust Rosen. He doesn't trust Barr. All of them. They're even. I mean, when you think about it, gone off last season, Barr would be the perfect replacement for Watson, but he's nowhere near the team, is he?
Nowhere near at all.
I mean, Barr was keeping Patrick Roberts out the team last season.
Yep. It wasn't all. Pastor Alex says, "Happy birthday, Colin. My village will celebrate with you," which is very nice.
Yeah. Put a stew on. Put a stew on the fire.
Put a stew on. I get some wild balls or something on the go. And SJ says, excuse me. SJ says 2 points dropped as soon as Watson got injured. He says we had absolutely nothing, and he says that's ridiculous to rely on an 18-year-old kid that's just come into the side. He says the breed needs to be able to change it tactically. I mean, is that a good point? The fact like we're relying on an 18-year-old kid. I mean,
yeah. It seems like we've only got one setup to play, isn't it? So the left winger goes off injured. We can't seem to play any other system. We've just got to try and find another left winger from somewhere.
And that's been like that for Sunderland for years. We could be playing well, and the player that's playing well gets injured, he comes off, we'll fall to pieces. Why? It's like I say, I've not got the manager that's tactically enough to say, all right, we can swap this around again, we'll still make it effective. But with us, it just I don't know, it totally screws us left, right and centre, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does, like, and it shouldn't be the case.
No.
SJ says, thanks, Pastor, much appreciated. Pastor Alex says, I've got a new profile pic. My friends are wearing Sunderland tops I ordered. We are so happy, but it just means no money for Christmas dinner. Give away, you've got to have some Christmas dinner, man. Bloody hell. Davey, can you believe that? He cannot not have Christmas dinner, for God's sake.
I know. The price of veg, man, it's only 19 pence.
Well, of course it is. Freaking hell. Watson, SJ says, Watson's out for 2 months, Andrew. Apparently Mundell is back in 2 weeks. I bet you it's longer than that. And I keep on saying, Mundell is a huge mismind.
Yeah, definitely. His goals and all.
His goals and his... Look, when he was running at the defence, before he was carrying that injury, he was dangerous, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was dangerous. And I mean, even if he couldn't get a shot in, he was just opening the defence up at the back, and he was creating space, and it just caused problems left, right and centre. And that's why I think we looked so dangerous when we went forward. But now we just look...
Toothless.
Toothless, aye. Toothless. It's predictable, Our Derby's winning 1-0, says Pastor.
Oh, that's quick.
They playing Derby, aye.
Portsmouth,
sorry, yeah. Gary Hoyle, hello Gary. He says, it always happens at Christmas time, lads. He says, it's an expensive time to start with, and some people's priorities don't include the match, which I can understand, without a doubt. But why is the atmosphere so quiet? Why is the fans so quiet at the stadium? Where's the chanting? Where's the singing that used to be? I mean, I can understand if it was like we're 4-0 down or something like that, but it's 0-0. Why aren't the fans singing or trying to get the team?
Right. That's it. I mean, I know there wasn't 40,000 there, there wasn't 30,000 there, but there's still 10, 15,000 more than the likes of Plymouth have, and their place is bouncing.
Of course it is.
So,
is it because do you think the Sunderland fans are just expecting to beat City? They just think that City's just gonna sit back and roll over. We'll beat these anyway. We'll be all right. And then when they did it and it's 0-0, they get frustrated.
yeah.
I mean, Mark was saying, he says, what I've noticed at the Stadium of Light as well, and he says, there's just a continuous stream of fans getting up off the seats, leaving, going back, and then coming back again. But that's like that every stadium, surely, isn't it?
Well, if you look at Terry's mate, what do they call him? Who's got the pub? Wixie.
Aye.
He never. Have you watched the videos? He never says a goal because he's always at the pub.
He's always in the bar at the back. Aye.
He misses goal after goal after goal.
He does. Aye.
So there must be loads like him.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people, the pints are priorities. It's like, well,
out.
You know, and I'm not saying everybody, mind, Davey, but
no.
a lot of fans that gone down there is look at it as well to get pissed.
Aye.
Are they out to get hammered? Do you know what I mean?
I've told you before, I used to have the pub across the road the way chief.
Aye.
And if Sunderland were losing, by 4:10, that pub was chock-a-block. People have left the match, come in the pub and watch it on the telly.
Aye. It's mad, isn't it?
Right. That's just the way it's always been.
I mean, I was doing my live watch along for the Bristol City game, and there was Susan Prescott was telling us, and there was like 8 minutes to go. She says, "Right, I'm leaving the stadium at light now, Matt and Cabby." She says, "That's it, I've had enough." And I was just thinking, I wonder what she's thinking now when Roberts fighting that in. I don't know. Could you see that goal coming, Davey, with Roberts?
No, I didn't see it coming. And then, in the end, we could have won it.
Good save by their keeper, wasn't it?
Oh, well, as soon as it left his age, you thought it was in, didn't you? And he just got his fingertips to it.
I mean, it just goes to show you, it just takes a second.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I think that's why there was a big roar for that goal, because of the fact, like, it was just totally unexpected.
Oh, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? I was more than the Leeds game when we were 2-1 down. I thought, like, oh, that's it. We've lost at the stadium tonight. There's nothing coming back from this. And I think that's why I was pleased with the point, because it was the way we got that equaliser, because it was more of a relief. We got out a jail card sort of with that one.
Oh, you're always happy with a point when it's you that scores at the death. I mean, you've got to be, haven't you?
Of course you have, aye. Gary Hoyle says, we cannot rely purely on youngsters to hold the fort. We urgently need experienced bodies to dictate the direction of game when kids will be afraid to make an error.
Aye. Fair. He's right there.
Aye. Tony Crawford says, Dodds and Proctor running the show again. SJ says, we've got experienced players. This is Brown getting injured didn't help. He never got injured at Preston, and he comes here and he gets injured. Gary says, you cannot underestimate the Welsh. We need 100% commitment.
Aye.
Of course we will. Neil Foster, hello Neil. He says, why have we stopped the high press that we saw in the season? It had us top of the league, and that's what I've mentioned, isn't it, before, Davey? I mean,
I think a lot of it's confidence. Like, when you're confident, when you're playing well and you're confident, you do the high press because you think you're unbeatable, didn't you?
Oh, would he?
But when you're on a bit of a bad run, you get a bit more cautious and a bit more, you know, and that's just the way it seems to me. We need a couple of wins, desperate like.
I still think we're missing, whether disagree or not, I still think we're missing Wundle massively, because I think...
Oh, huge miss.
He charges, I mean, when he was... he didn't play his best for 2 or 3 games, but I think that's because he was carrying a knock. I keep saying it. But when he was on fire, the fans were charged watching us because when he had the ball, he was, and that must play a part on how the other Sunderland players are feeling as well. But it was when Mundell's gone forward, this was had speed, you know, there was space, and we looked dangerous. And
Aye. He's a good player.
Without doubt, and I do believe, and I know you're saying like, well, how can I only be relying on one player again? But with us, it looks to be the case, and I do think Mundell is a huge gaping hole in that side with Sunderland going forward, because at the minute, all we're doing is like trying to go down the wings, but Roberts hasn't got the pace. We haven't got much as pace as we're down the left.
Well, me and give me Joe's the kid tries, right? But he hasn't got a brain. He's only a young boy. He just keeps running down back alleys all the time, doesn't he?
This is the difference.
He never has. You know, with Mundell, the ball was like stuck to his toe, a bit like Jack Clark. But with Mayenda, you didn't know what he's going to do, which way he's going to go, and he doesn't know.
Well, this is what Mundell did different. He steamrolled his way through like a freight train.
Aye.
Bang.
Mundell, what they call Mayenda tries to do, but the ball's never under control.
No. And this is the difference with Watson recently, when he's been on form, and it's like the ball's glued to his feet. And his control is amazing on the edge of the box. So he hasn't got the physique, but if he's letting his feet and the skill do the talking, it's just as effective. But like I say, you take Mundell out, and then you're taking Watson out. You know, we've just got absolute sod all. But I mean, I'm going to have to say well done to Patrick Roberts. I was pleased for him to get a goal.
I was. I said, didn't I, when James Copley was on? I says, I hope Roberts gets a goal. It'll do him the world of good.
Aye. I mean, he's had a lot of criticism from the fans and this and that and the other, but there's still something about him, though, with Robertson. There's still, when he turns it on.
You know what I mean when I say about Mayenda not having a brain?
Yep.
He's left-footed, right? He's left-footed.
Aye.
Same as Roberts. And he's playing on the left, but he keeps coming in on his right. Can you understand that?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No. What?
It doesn't make sense at all, does it?
No. Right, Roberts comes in because he's left-footed.
Of course it is. But that should be an automatic response upstairs telling you what your feet wanting to do.
Aye.
Surely.
Well, if you're left-footed and you're playing on the left wing, surely you must want to go around the place, not come back inside where all the traffic is.
I don't understand it. There's only one person knows, and that's him himself.
I know.
Maybe he's trying to get him.
Can anybody on here explain to me why you would prefer to go on your bad foot than on your good foot?
Boggles the bloody mind. Topsy T, good evening, Cabby and Davey. Welcome, Topsy. Says long time no speak. On patrol in the North Sea, watching. He's on patrol in the North Sea.
Here you get all our Cabby this show.
You know, crikey, so we're in the North Sea. Say hello to Seaman. Say hello to Seaman.
Mistakes in the North Sea.
You what?
We'll have mad mistakes on in the North Sea.
Say hello. I say hello to Seaman Staines for us, will you, T, Simon? Andrew Lewis says Pavida will give us another 10 minutes at least. I mean, it's not so much about his injuries, the fact, like, what I've seen of Pavida, he's not really impressed us.
No, he hasn't here. Like, I mean, he was a good player for Sheffield Wednesday. He done well. He done well when he played for Blackpool. He always played well against us. That was in League One. Like, he always had a good game against us. But, like you say, we haven't seen him, have we? No. I don't think he's played a half of football yet, has he here?
I don't think he's played anywhere near that.
No, not even for the under-21s.
Did he first?
He's only had a couple of half of games for them.
Did he first make his appearance coming on sub against Portsmouth?
I think he did, last 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
It wasn't long, Dave. No, it was about 10, 12 minutes or something.
And what do you think about Connolly the other night? He didn't touch the ball, did he?
I don't understand why. Well, wait a minute. I'll rephrase that. Did he actually come on?
He come on with 17 minutes to go and never touched the ball.
Did he? Do you know what? And I'm not lying here. I didn't even know he was on.
There you go. He never touched the ball.
Who came on off for Connolly then?
Let's think. Did Isidore come off? Isidore, I think, didn't he?
Isidore came off, aye.
Right.
But honestly, I did not know Connolly was on. I've seen in my chat, people were saying, get Connolly on, and that's all I've heard. I didn't hear anything else. I swear down, I did not even know he was on.
But I never seen him touch the ball.
Rasmin Atlan, welcome Rasmin. He says, we haven't got a winger, only opinion back 3-3-5-2, why not? Says Raslam. Andrew Moore says,
this manager will not change the shape, will he? He will not change our formation.
Is that because lack of experience, knowledge, or he's just stubborn?
He just believes in the process. That's all you hear. We believe in the process.
I don't listen much to these. I switch off when I listen to these press conferences because it's the results on the pitch. It's not what he says on the microphone. It's what happens at full time. Then I'll listen to him after the game if we've won. But these press conferences beforehand, they believe, oh, we're going to do this. Like, oh, bollocks. I didn't listen to it, Davey. That's just me. I might probably be wrong for doing that. I don't know. Yeah. But I like to let the resultant on the pitch do the talking. Because anybody can stand with a microphone in front of you and you can say, oh, we're going to do this. We'll do this and we'll be all right. And, you know, but when it comes, it's a different thing.
Oh, right.
Peter Griffin says 3-0 Derby County.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Play Portsmouth shortly, didn't we? When do we play Portsmouth? Before Christmas or after?
I'm not too sure. They're gone down Portsmouth, like. Andrew Moore Roberts was full of praise for Ashish the other day too. Has he had his hair cut, or Ashish? He didn't recognise him.
Aye.
I thought he did. Peter Griffin says another headed goal for Derby. They're top of the league for set piece goals. D Hall says Wincy. Oh, I think he's on about Wincy when you mentioned about him gone for a pint of the games. SJ says, why do people blame Dodds when we start to play badly? Is this a running joke? He says, surely it must be. Some fans can't be serious. It's the same fans who think Speakman picks the side.
Crazy man.
Colin Major says, could be a lot of them ending up with flu after the game before. Has he got a point? I mean, there is a hell of a lot going about.
You can't play football when that's how I was amazed how good Luke O'Neill played last Saturday.
Did you see him before the game walking in? He looked with his hoodie on. He looked ill.
He couldn't speak.
Unbelievable. Pastor Alex says 4-0 Derby now.
God.
Oh dear hell. Steve Taylor. Hello, Steve Taylor.
Baby boy.
He says, good evening, guys. He says, we'll take a point now for tomorrow, 1-1. And I know Davey's basically, you know, me basically like, well, we've got to stop these draws at some point. But there's sometimes, you know, I would take a point tomorrow down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would rather take a win, but I wouldn't complain. Well, I'm saying I wouldn't complain, but if it was something like Millwall when we're 1-0 up in the 96th minute and we lose a goal,
then you wouldn't take a point.
Then you wouldn't. It's you know, it's funny, and it's how the game pans out. We
need to start well, Cobby. I don't think we started well again on Tuesday night.
Too slow.
Regis after in his post-match said that, we started well, but I didn't say it like. They had about 2 or 3 chances before we got anywhere near that goal.
We didn't look like the home side coming out at the Stadium of Light on Tuesday night.
No, it was flat, and we're straight back on our back foot. And if you think, you'll have watched it, did you see Watson nearly turned back into the box, didn't he, with the ball?
He did.
That nearly cost us a goal.
Aye. Honestly, it's just like it all being out on a night on the hill the night before.
Aye.
It was just. I mean, on my commentary and stuff I did, there was times where I was just literally staring into the screen because I couldn't speak, I couldn't see it out because it was just absolutely no happening.
No.
It was like, eh? And when all you can hear on the commentary, because I have like, the Radio Newcastle on in the background, when all I can hear in the background is tick, 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 tick with Gary Bennett's watch, that's when you know there's a problem.
Aye.
Eh?
All you could hear, what I could hear was like the coaches on the sidelines, like the shouting. You could hear all that. Well, you didn't normally hear all that when it's like busy.
Oh, it's like watching the under-21s. Was it Embleton the player? What do they call
it? And the ladies when they're just screaming all the time.
Aye. Did you watch the Sunderland Durham game?
Aye.
Well, I seen. Of course, you did. I seen you on the chat, didn't I?
Aye.
We seem to have a bad record against Durham in the cup games, Sunderland.
Aye.
But that first goal the lasses conceded was bad, wasn't it? Oh,
terrible.
God,
just wide open, wasn't there?
It was like it was slow motion. It was like, what? And
I didn't like calling anybody that, but you're not going to win many games with that goalkeeper, are you?
Oh, no.
No way.
I mean, it wasn't even a powerful shot, Davey. It was like passed into the side of the net.
Too overweight, man. Surely to be a goalkeeper, you've got to have a bit of flexibility, haven't you?
And somebody needs to put that drum over that Durham fan. Bang, bang, bang. Imagine standing next to that all night.
Oh, God.
Dear me. SJ says Portsmouth going down then. SJ also says Mienda is not a winger. He says play him on the wing will be a waste of time. He says surely we have other options there. Where's Benetti? And Benetti...
That's another one, just doesn't get the look in, does he? So the manager obviously doesn't fancy him at all.
He's another one, isn't he? That's joining the likes of O'Sheesh and
Barr
and Rusin on the bus out for the transfer window. They're going to be gone on.
They'll be gone in January. They'll definitely be gone. Rusin will be back to Ukraine.
Aye, absolutely.
He gets mixed up with a club over there.
Aye. D. Hall says Tony Mowbray believed that he was sacked by Sun because of disagreements with the higher ups over team selection. We've heard that, yeah. It's
yeah.
Well, whether that's been sorted yet, I don't know. Mowbray being bitter, says SJ. Colin Major, the young 60-year-old, says Pavida should call him sick note. We should. We were warned by that by the fans of that he played for their teams.
The fans said he was a great player when he was on the pitch, but you just didn't say him often enough.
I know, absolutely. Gary Hoyle says, could that be a turning point in Paddy's season? That goal must lift his confidence. Well, yeah.
Hopefully.
And that's all it needs, to be honest with you.
He was rough with the flow and all.
It's gone around. It was even on the news that the A&Es are getting overrun with people going in there, especially blokes with the man flus and things like that. Hey, I haven't had flu. If you've got flu, you can't get out your bed. I've just had like a nasty cold virus where I've literally had no energy at all. I've had the flu once.
You not get the flu jab like CABBIE?
I didn't know. I've heard a lot of passengers tell me it actually gives you the flu. It makes you unwell, so I didn't get it.
Nah, but it stops you getting the flu bad though.
And I might have to start getting it.
I have it every year now. I've never got, touch wood, like bad flu.
Do you get the COVID jabs?
No. I did when I believed Boris, but I didn't know. I wouldn't bother with them now. Like, it's all a load of crap.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Aye.
Steve Taylor says Pavida came on at home. Wasn't Portsmouth. Can't remember who against.
Home game. Let's think. Come on.
Was it Derby?
And went off, didn't he?
Was it Derby?
It could have been Derby, aye. Yes, Derby.
And he came on and then he went off within 2 minutes, didn't he?
Aye. And we've never seen him since. And when was that? September or October?
But he didn't even get tackled, did he? He just sort of ran on and then he started limping.
And he's been out all this time with that. He's a tough cookie, isn't he?
I mean, What do you think causes all these injuries and stuff? I mean, look, when you look at the games, right, in the 70s and this and that, the way Leeds United were and all that, was it bite your legs, Norman, and all that carry on, Billy Bremner and all that. I mean, I was born obviously 75 onwards. Davey, you'll have watched loads of games in the 70s and all that.
Aye.
The tackles would have been a lot more harder then. Was there as many injuries then, would you say, than what we're getting now?
No, definitely not. But the more athletic now, aren't they? The more like athletes, aren't they?
So would you say the more finely tuned?
Yes, without a doubt. But the game's faster and all.
Aye.
Definitely faster.
There was stockier, not as fit back then, but they were strong.
Right.
They were physically more stronger. Do you think? Is that what you're trying to say? And nowadays, they're just everything's just so finely tuned. These athletes.
Finely tuned so that you easy break down, didn't you? It's a bit like an athlete on the running track.
Mm.
The things can snap quickly, and I think I don't know. I'm not an expert in the human body.
Because everything's all at maximum. Your tendons are all at maximum. Your muscles are maximum. Everything you just 100%.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it without a doubt, the game is faster. I mean, like I said.
Well, if you look, Cubby, you don't see many injuries caused by a tackle, do you? It's always breaking down.
Yeah, or turning, or twisting, or just stopping running.
Yeah. I mean, look at Mundell. There was nobody anywhere near him, and he's been out for 2 months.
That's a good point, that, Davey. People thinking like this.
I mean, I know Watson's was a different case. He was, you could see he had a problem. It was like kicking a brick wall, wasn't it?
No, that was a crunching tackle, that.
Aye, but he kicked him. Watson kicked him. Like kicking off, you kick a brick wall.
Aye.
It shudders your whole leg, doesn't it?
Oh, aye. Oh, that'll be.
And knee problems.
Aye. But he tried his best to run it off. He didn't give up straight away. But no, it's a good point. That's the fact, like the finely tuned, and it doesn't take as much for things to snap and tear.
No.
And that's exactly what goes on. Gary Hoyle says we play Pompey at home on the 5th of January.
I knew it was sharp all night.
Topsy T, he says we are toothless at the minute. He says loads of players need dropping. Resting, he says as well, the likes of Rig, Isidore, just not up to it at the moment. I mean, I've put a poll in there. Do you think we should rest?
You can't leave them all out.
You can't leave them all out, no.
No, we've got a very thin squad.
And I think that's where the problem is. Because
he doesn't trust the bench, does he?
No. He still doesn't trust the Lesich, does he?
No, he's got no chance. He's never in the conversation, about who's going to replace Watson. He's not even in the conversation.
No, he's not. Jamie Bell, hello Jamie, welcome mate to the show. He says, evening lads, hope you're well. Do you think if we lose to Swansea, the automatic promotions are over?
Nah, you cannot see it. Too early to call it, but we can't let the gap get too big, like.
They're starting to show the class above now, Leeds and Sheffield.
Oh, we are.
Aye.
I mean, they've got an easy game tomorrow. One of them out, Plymouth, in it. Leeds and Plymouth.
Mm-hmm. But
that'll not be a close game, will it?
I think Leeds are looking impressive, mind.
Nah, they're fast, aren't they? Fast.
They're very, very fast. John Ord, hello John, you alright? This is hope you're better, my right. He says love from Qatar. So now we've got people from Qatar. I know.
Nice, eh?
Welcome, mate. Colin Major says Billy Bremner, he was a dirty player.
Aye.
Billy Bremner. And the Sunderland defence sorted him out. Autos are over now, Jamie says. SJ says Sheffield United and Leeds have those two sewn up. He says they know how to win even when playing poorly, and that's exactly what Davey says when they play bad.
Yeah, we have to be on it every game to win a game. I can't say Sunderland win the game playing badly, can you?
No. I'm just going to bring up. Someone says 3. Oh, it's 3-0 Derby, not 4-0.
Pasta.
Pasta.
He's watching a different game, the pasta.
He's watching it on his Fire Stick, isn't he? That's what he's doing. I'm going to have a look at the league tables as of... Yeah, well, Sheffield United, they're top with 42. Leeds, 41. Of course, Sunderland sitting in 4th, 37. Burnley looked poor against Derby County the other night, mind. I thought Derby played some good football. They nearly won it.
I didn't fancy Burnley at all. Like, they're not on my agenda at all.
If you were to fast forward the league table to the end of the season, and as what you've seen now, and it was Burnley, Sunderland, Blackburn, West Brom in the playoffs, I wouldn't be afraid of any of them, would you?
No, I wouldn't be afraid of any of them in the playoffs. I mean, it's only 2 weeks ago tonight since we should have beat Sheffield United. It's mad how it changes, isn't it? You think you've just said made a comment that Sheffield United's pulling away. If we beat them a fortnight ago, we would have went above them.
It's just such a harsh league, the Championship. It's
fine margins, Cabbie, isn't it?
If you mess up, or you just lose the pace, lose pace with the top two, you just get punished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's very hard to win 2 or 3 games off the top in the Championship. That's how it was such a good start for Sunderland.
Oh, it was massive.
I always remember what Tony Mowbray said. It's very difficult to win back-to-back games in the Championship. And he was right.
Well, Sheffield United, this is going back from the 26th of October. They've won, drawn. 1, drawn, 1. And Leeds United, going back the same, they've drawn, 1, lost. 1, lost. 1. So there we are. There's always that spanner in the works, isn't there? For every team. There's always... You get
Leeds have lost a couple of games, but they haven't drew any, have they?
No, they're replacing...
You're better off losing a couple as long as you win the others.
Yeah, they're replacing...
Then drawn.
That's right. Their difference is they've got green for W, meaning win, where Sunderland have got the D, the orange for draws.
Yeah.
They lose a game. Yeah, they lose a game, and straight away they'll get 2 or 3 wins on the bounce straight after.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's how you get up in it.
Oh, God, aye. Swansea City, they won their last game away to Plymouth, which was a decent result because Plymouth, they aren't bad at home. I don't know, they've been terrible away, but they've picked up most of their points from home games. And Swansea, they drew away to Luton. And then they drew at home to Portsmouth, which you think, like, well, that wasn't the best of results from them. Some say if Portsmouth can go down there to the Liberty Stadium and get a point, then surely God. They beat Derby. Then I remember that match when they lost 4-3 against Leeds United. I thought Swansea played really well against Leeds, mind.
70% of possession had in that game.
So Swansea's more of a patchwork quilt. Not so many green wins there. It's more, a lot of losses and draws. And that's why they represent being where they are in the table. But I just don't like the name Swansea. Just like Coventry City. I just cannot... When was the last time we beat them? I watched a clip on the News and Banter page before. Jermaine Defoe scored a hat-trick when we beat them 3-1. I think that was in the Premier League, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, we haven't got a very good record down there. We often get them sent off or missed penalties, don't we?
We haven't got a good record up here against them either.
No. They generally give us a lesson up here, didn't they?
God, this will make you laugh with Sunderland's last results. This is from the 2nd of November. Drew, lost, won, drew.
No, that's not good, is it? All them draws, like.
God. But still a lot of the Sunderland fans saying, like, at least we're not losing games, but like at some
No,
point.
I'm amazed we're still fourth. When you just read that record out there, you would have thought we would have dropped like a stone, wouldn't you?
Oh, without doubt. But it's the beginning that did it. Like you say, at the beginning we won, lost, drew, won. There you go. That's why we are fourth at the minute, because of that amazing start. Because that was like a Leeds United form now, what we did at the beginning of the season.
Yes, that's what held us in good stead now.
What match?
Providing this is just a blip, we've got a massive chance, but I'm just worried it's not going to turn round like.
No, I know. There's a few Sunderland fans the same. What game did Mundell get off? Injured?
Oxford 2-0.
Oxford 2. And isn't it funny? Since the Oxford game, that's when we've dropped. Straight after the Oxford game.
Yeah.
And that's when the draw, lost, won, draw came in. So.
Oh, a big miss, Mundell. Big.
That's not a coincidence. I didn't care what anybody says.
No.
So, obviously, we've got Swansea on Saturday. And then, bloody hell. Can you believe we've got 4 3:00 kickoffs?
Need game next week. Need game.
How's that? Is that because of the FA Cup or something?
No, I mean there's no midweek game.
Oh, there's no midweek game. No.
Then we play 4 games in 6 days, something daft like that.
Well, we've got on the 21st of December, Sunderland Norwich at home. Is that a Saturday? Because it's a 3:00 kickoff.
Saturday, yeah.
And then we're away to Blackburn. That's another 3:00 kickoff. So I'm presuming that'll be Saturday.
Thursday.
Oh, yes. You know why?
Boxing
Day, of course it is.
Then we play Stoke on the 29th, is it?
We do. That's another 3:00.
And then we've got Sheffield United New Year's Day.
Sheffield United New Year's Day. And
4 games in 7 days.
And then we have Portsmouth at home.
Stadium.
And then we'll have practically an empty stadium where Sunderland are playing Stoke on the FA Cup. That's not going to be a glamorous tie, that is it?
Oh, they can't give the tickets away.
Oh,
there's only half.
Freaking hell.
I say they're only opening half the stadium.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't bloody know. It's just.
People will be skint and all, won't they?
Oh, there will be. Absolutely. Going to catch up on some more of the chat. God, Davey, the time's flown over.
Aye, man. Hey, man. These good podcasts fly.
They do, didn't they, Davey? That absolutely
we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing, coming.
We're digging on, man. We're digging on. He says Gary Hall says there might be more injuries today, but back in the day there was more career-ending injuries.
True. Aye, that's a good point, because obviously medical wasn't as good as it is now.
SJ says the playoffs are a lottery. Anyone can win them. That's why it's obviously better to get an auto spot. He says, can't see us winning them if we end up in them, says SJ. Topsy T says, thing is as well, Cabbie says, Leeds, Sheffield United haven't had a bad spell yet, and we only have 5 points behind. Still 26 games to play for.
Right.
A long time to go yet, mate. And to be honest, as it stands, each of them teams are fragile. And this is why the parachute payments are really important for teams just coming down. I know it hasn't happened to Luton, but the majority of teams it does. When, like Sheffield United or the Leeds, they get injuries. They've got a second string squad just as good as the first, and they can cover. And that's why they seem to don't go on these blips, because they've just got the strength and depth from coming down from the Prem.
It'll be interesting to see how much they spend in January. I bet you Sheffield and Leeds are the biggest spenders.
Oh, of course they will. They'll do what Ipswich did, man.
Yeah.
Make sure. Gary says, who are the dark horses? Because there's always a team that comes from nowhere. Well, there is, yeah.
Looks like it's Blackburn, doesn't it?
Could be. Jim
Danny Bath.
Yeah?
Danny Bath.
Oh, Christ. Jim N says, we can't rotate midfield while Brown and Samed aren't fit, so Rig and Job have to play 90 minutes. I think fatigue is affecting their performance. Borough, Gary, but they get to the playoffs. Colin Major says, you've got to believe, lads. If you don't, then what have we got? Peter Griffin says, do you think the bubble has burst a bit Flying start, but maybe running out of steam as other teams are really improving and picking up points. This Blackburn away will be huge as they are right behind.
Yeah, that's a 6-pointer, isn't it?
And the squad depth of Leeds is ridiculous, says Peter. Right, before we're gone, Davey, what's your prediction for tomorrow?
A nice 1-0, get in and get out. 1-0, Isidore.
Oh, I'd like to see Isidore get one.
Right.
God's sake. I'm going for 2-0.
Good on. Who scores the first goal?
Roberts.
And who scores the second?
I'm going to go for Isidore.
Good. That'll do us, will it?
So, Dave,
in and out.
Is it dog walking time?
Right, he's lying here now waiting.
Oh, yeah. Well,
right, boys, thanks very much for joining in. It's been a great show as ever.
Cheers, Dave. You've enjoyed it, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Have a good day tomorrow.
Bye. You too, pal.
Ta-ra, son.
Ta-ra, mate. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in on the show tonight. I'm going to go now and rest my little throat. Still sort of not 100%. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And